My name's Honorable Evangelist Grace Laraba Vanderpuye. I'm inspired by the Holy Spirit to give my story. At least we all know that one day we shall depart this world. But just like the Bible is written today, we have come to the sovereign knowledge of God through His Word by His revelation to us in written form. And I know that God has allowed me to pass through all this so that this story will redeem men back to Him, those who are lost or those who have an unpalatable stories of life. They will know that Christ is there to redeem us and to set us free from whatever bondages we are in. I want to start by telling the story of circumstances surrounding my birth. I was actually born in Jos Prisons. My mom is from Bauchi State. She's Ningi by tribe. My father is from Gombe. I cannot say the tribe. That was what I was told by my foster father. Her husband married 2 wives and they fought. And he supported the other wife as against my mother. So she hit him with a pistol and then he dropped dead. Then Sardauna was the governor of northern Nigeria. He was the only one who could revoke her being sentenced to death. And while she was in prison, they were loose there and the prisoner got her pregnant. That's supposed to be my late father. She had a little baby, which is me. And when the Sardauna visited, the prison board brought this to his notice, why they should not execute her. So it was converted to life imprisonment because of I was a baby at hand. And then she was left. But they said my father denied the pregnancy. 2 months later, he died. Papa Vanderpuye, who adopted me, was a member of the prison board committee. They cast ballots on who was to take the child. In the committee, every other person wrote his name. He was the only one who wrote another person's name, and that was how I came to be in the family of late Pa Vanderpuye. My experiences there as a child was that I was growing up in the house. His wife, who is supposed to be my mom, Janet Vanderpuye, had her nephews growing there. Papa Vanderpuye had a daughter outside wedlock, but she was not growing up in the compound where we were, in the family house. And then as coming up as a child, Mama was looking at me as a rival, and also that the children's inheritance that I've come to claim, because since his other child is out, and I was not treated well. And even the boys were not fair to me. At a young age of 9, between 9 and 10, they started abusing me. And then she herself sometimes would leave me hungry. I could not say anything because I was warned. They warned me not to say anything. And at a point also, Papa Vanderpuye also was not born again as of that time. There was nothing like devotions in the house. We go to church. I became a chorister in the St. Luke's Cathedral Church. Being in the choir in the church, and also what I passed through in the home. Because each time I leave for the choir too, I want to leave home early. And when I get there, the choir master would take me to the vestry and some other younger ones. He would start fingering us. And then when we had choir feast, they also give alcohol there. And alcohol was also the order of the day in the house. Mama Vanderpuye drinks, Papa drinks, and sometimes when there is cold, they give us. And that was how I became used to drinking. And also while in secondary school, there was a Reverend Carol. He stays at the vicarage outside the school, close to my house. He was supposed to be the chaplain of the school, but he's an addict. And he will send us home with the book. When we close and bring the books of assignment, he will give us alcohol. I became addicted to alcohol and sex because I was abused as a child. And with the heat I was getting from Mama, I started running, leaving home. Then I started clubbing. As I was clubbing, I sometimes get pregnant. I will abort it. And even growing up, when I finished my primary school to go to secondary school, Papa became bedridden. He was sick for 13 and a half years. He was a member of the Odd Fellows, Freemasons, and Amok. And sometimes they do take us to the lodge houses of the Odd Fellows. They will bring all their families. They will cook, will eat, will dine, their wives and children. So, actually I became so addicted to alcohol and cigarette and to sex. I have children from 3 different men. I gave birth to my first son when I was 19, about to finish secondary school. It was his father, the father of that my son, that trained me until I completed secondary, because Baba was sick, Mama was controlling the finances, so she didn't pay my fees. And I did a lot of abortions for him. Then when I had the last pregnancy that I gave birth to my son, he wanted me to terminate it. I told him I was finishing school. I became so sick and on admission that I could not even terminate it. When I became better, I sat for my exams and I completed May, June. That was 1983. Then by October, I gave birth to him. Well, while I went to stay with him and his parents, he denied the pregnancy at first. But later, when I gave birth to the boy, he came. And they came and took me. I stayed a while with them. But while I was with them, he wanted actually to marry me. But with the character I was exhibiting, I would even dodge to go and drink and get drunk. So his family refused, and the mother opened up that Mama has already told them that I was adopted from prison, and they will not want that type of history in their family. Then shortly when I came back, they brought me back home. I will leave the baby with Mama, and I will go out. I now met my daughter's father while he was becoming 2 years. By October, by November, I gave birth to my daughter, and then 13 years later, I gave birth to the last son. They are all graduates now. In the course of it, by the time I gave birth to the last one, I was highly addicted to alcohol. And his father gave me regular beatings, because when Papa died in 1988, I was thrown out of the house by his daughter, Doris Vanderpuye, and also Mama. But I became so sick, I went and got alcoholic hepatitis, and I was on admission for Jude for up to about 2 months. People came and donated blood, people were sending money. And when I came back, I had to come back to the home and was staying with Mama. It was hell for me. And later, I remained in the compound. She said she would not want me to stay with her. So, and the experience was that when Papa died, as an orphan, I barely had where to stay. So I go to clubhouses, and sometimes some men will take me for hookup, they pay me, and later I move with even those that steal. I'll go and sell stolen things. In fact, not to even make anything meaningful out of it, to meet up my addictive behaviors. And sometimes when I drink, I had blackout. I remembered being raped for about thrice. Thrice I was raped because I had blackout. And sometimes I get serious infections, sexual transmitted infections, and I will be treated. So these were just the experiences, growing up.